And away we go. It is the nightcap right here on Bearcat Journal, brought to you, as always, by our good friends at Galactic Fried Chicken. Visit www.galacticfriedchicken.com. Download the app for Android, iPhone, everything Galactic. Or stop down to Dayton, Kentucky. Tell them to pump it up. Save yourself 15% off your order. Closed now on Monday and Tuesdays, Wednesday through Sunday. Stop down and get your Galactic Fried Chicken fix. You go back tomorrow, right?
I think so.
Were you able to stock up on the South?
I couldn't. I had to deal with a shotgun wedding on Sunday.
I mean, that's going to hit you. Don't you have a bunch of people back in Athens that are like waiting?
No, it's my sister's friends in Indianapolis.
Oh, okay.
So they can wait.
They're just as close to Cincinnati. They're closer to Cincinnati than you are.
This is accurate.
Go get your own damn Souse.
Just saying.
Just go to Galactic Fried Chicken.
Tell
them you need 10 bottles of sauce.
You do you.
That's not on you. If you lived in Cincinnati, you would be responsible for that.
Correct. But
you live in Athens. That's on her.
It's true.
I'm just saying. Like, if you need to send this to her, let her know.
I'm not saying, but I'm saying.
Just saying. Like, it is what it is. You were practice today. You didn't tell me you were coming.
I know. I was kind of like, should I tell? He's got a lot going on. You know what? I'll just, when he sees me, he'll see me.
I was like, is that? First, I pulled in and there was mad cars.
There were so many cars.
There. I was kind of pissed because, like.
I was first one there. I got there at 8:30.
Nice.
Because I didn't want to not be there if they started early. I'm like, it's going to be a hot day today. Maybe they're starting a little early. We'll see what happens. And I got there at 8:30. First one there. I got a shout out from somebody who I had never seen or met before.
I mean, you're internet famous, dude. You do this show every night, like you know.
To the hundreds who watch us, yeah. I mean,
it was spicy like a McDonald's Sprite out there today.
Unbelievable.
It was hot. It
was hot.
It was warm. Luckily, it wasn't overly humid, so that was.
There was a breeze. Thank God.
There was a nice breeze.
Thank God.
Towards the end of practice, there were some clouds that snuck in, but for the most part, it was a hot one.
It was about 10 degrees cooler on the concrete than it was
the turf
on
is
the
hot.
turf. The turf
is.
I mean, it's a nice turf, but yeah. I mean, it was so hot that the guys were dunking their heads in the Gatorade tubs that people were pulling Gatorades out of.
You didn't pull any Gatorades. I knew well enough to go to the Gatorade tub.
Yeah. I followed suit.
And that Gatorade tub, it was so hot, all the ice had melted. So there was just water in that Gatorade tub.
Now, there may or may not have been some members of media who didn't see what was happening with the head washes in the. I wasn't telling them.
Yeah, I mean, you got to pay attention. Head on a swivel. So I get to talk to you about practice today.
You do. That's why you're back in the driver's seat.
Yeah. What'd you think? You picked a bad day.
Well, I mean, and who's to know, right? We don't know that we're going to end up seeing checkdowns for the large majority of practice, and
it wasn't just checkdowns. They were working on today. Today was supposed to be helmets only. We talked about this a little at the beginning of the BBP. Today was supposed to be helmets only, which is like a relief day for players. Like, you're just out there, kind of walk through. You're doing a lot of install. You're learning, but you're not physically competing. And to my understanding, the offensive and defensive linemen said bullshit.
Well, they all had
spider pads on, and we're getting after it.
And they all had their Guardian helmets on. I think that's a staple at this point, at least in practice.
For camp, yeah.
Right. Interesting tidbit about that. My best friend, his wife's aunt and uncle invented them. and live in Atlanta, and they've been trying to peddle them out to the NFL and the college ranks. High schools adopted them a little bit earlier, but it's definitely catching on as
The ones that UC's wearing look a lot more reasonable than the NFL ones.
well, I mean, when you wrap yours in bubble wrap, Jason Kelsey, of course they're going to look a little obscene.
Come on. Jason being Jason.
He hates them apparently.
Yeah.
As
I don't know. I guess there's the extra chin strap that's
Yeah.
probably pretty
Well,
annoying.
like they did, some players were either wearing them incorrectly or wearing them differently than others. I don't know enough about them to know
I
if
don't
there's
either.
different ways to wear them, but they fit on some people's helmets differently than they fit on other helmets. So maybe that's why you're having some discomfort. I'm not really sure, but just interesting to see that. First time I'd seen them at a practice live in person myself.
They busted them out. I think I don't know. I can't remember if it was Friday or Saturday at Higher Ground when they brought them out.
But other than that, I mean, yeah, like I said, checkdowns were a thing today, and
it wasn't just checkdowns though. That's where you're incorrect. It was a lot of work close to the line of scrimmage and
sweeps,
tosses,
ins,
outside
outs,
runs,
slants,
shallow
screens.
crosses, screen game. A lot of like
you're
first and 10.
Yeah, you're in, and that was one thing I did notice as well, because I'm like, why do they have the markers out? Oh, because we're working to just simulate as close as you can to a game type situation. We're working at 1st and 10, and I guess to probably provide the media with, oh, this is what we're doing. And maybe if I had paid a little bit more attention.
They don't care what we know or don't know. It was just being somebody that's been at hundreds of practices. And it even took me a little while, because you mentioned it at like the second like period, like you're like, what is happening right now? And then I started paying a little. I'm like, oh, they're working on. They did install at the beginning of practice, and then they went into the team stuff, and the team stuff was a lot of that short game stuff. Like I said, 1st and 10 stuff where you're trying to stay ahead of the sticks and get to 2nd and 5, 2nd and 4. So that was a lot of what they were doing today. But like I said, it was supposed to be. Those are the type of practices you have when you're just in helmets. And they were supposed to have just a helmets practice. And apparently they like surprised the players. Hey, everybody, just helmets. And they're like, oh, no, hell no. We're not going out there in this heat and just walking through. Iron sharpens iron. We're putting the spider pads on. Not the full shoulder pads, but at least you can get a little more physical with the spider pads that go underneath the shoulder pads. They were like, no, we're not wasting a day. Which I think, for me, maybe the biggest sign we've seen from camp this far about the personality of this team.
I think they're hungry. They want to do what everyone thinks.
To prove.
Right. No one thinks they can do it, and they want to do what everyone thinks that they can't do. They can't replicate last year, right?
Right.
Well, let's show everybody that we're some dudes too. We've all been, every single person in the room outside of the transfers right now.
The true freshmen.
No, I think I can still say even the true freshmen have all been part of the best recruitment class ever, right? They were each individually, when they were recruited,
I see what you're saying.
Part of the best recruitment class that the school has ever seen, as we have seen successive years of.
Yeah, I think there was actually,
maybe one
21
class
was just a tick below 20.
Okay.
But
so you're old heads.
You're right. Yeah, you're right.
So some guys who are, so it's
18, 20, 21, 22.
A lot of classes now, as you've piled up some amazing classes. There shouldn't be a giant drop off, as one of the questions in the mailbag asked. So no, I think there's definitely a chip on the shoulder. And God, you talk to any of these guys, and I don't think at this point it's just coaches told us we need to answer questions this way. I think they all truly believe what they're saying when they use the mantras that have been bestowed upon them over this time. They all talk about the top 10 program. They all talk about iron sharpens iron. They all talk about, this is, we're just being us out here. Like, I think that they all truly believe that right now.
Yeah, I mean it's fascinating to me because, like I said, I think this is an indication of the personality of this team, and each team takes on a different personality. Like I think last year, just out of necessity, that team was kind of they were talented, they were confident, but they almost got to a point of just like survival mode
Yeah,
because
they
the weight of
had to.
expectations were so heavy and
It stopped being fun.
they had to be perfect. And there was this notion that even if you're perfect, you're not good enough. You have to be more than perfect.
They weren't.
Just winning, going 12, 13, and 0.
They weren't celebrating wins.
Right. They were winning and going back to the locker room like
That wasn't good enough.
that. Yeah. Like, so I'm always interested in discovering the identity of a team.
I think this
And
team is. It feels like it might end up being grittier.
oh, I get where you're coming from. That's going to be difficult because I still think last year's team was really gritty. Like it still had that Cincinnati football feel to them, but there was always this Hollywood storyline behind them
Yeah.
that I think clashed with like what they wanted their personality to be. I don't think that team could be who they wanted to be. You know
Well,
what I'm saying?
I guess
Does
what
that
I'm.
make sense?
I don't know. Maybe I'm struggling to find the wording for it. It's not that I think they're going to be like the evil version or anything like that.
No. I know what you're saying.
But I think they're going to be darker. Like I think they're going to be just like I don't know, like
A little more tough and nasty.
yeah, not the villain, but not as polished. Not a you know what I mean? Like they're going to there's going to be
Well,
ways that they find to win that are not the traditional ways that we've seen over the course of the last several years.
what did we learn last year? Cinderella doesn't work in college football. Cinderella got them shit on, right? Like
It sure
they're
did.
not good enough. They don't belong. They're not one of us. Like it's not the same as college basketball. College basketball, like that team, making a run to the Final Four, like that's the biggest story of March. Like if a team like Cincinnati, in the scope of the college football world, breaks into the party with Alabama and Georgia and
Yes and no. I
Michigan.
mean, if Michigan had made it, I think it would have been much of the same.
Michigan did make it to the Final Four.
Well, I mean, it against Alabama. If they were in that game against Alabama, I think it would have been.
Well, they would have beaten Georgia, who, I mean,
If we would have ended up with Georgia.
look, man, if you think Cincinnati and Michigan are on the same place in the pecking order of college football, I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just saying it would have been.
Cincinnati was a group of 5 school, the first group of 5 school to ever do this. First, like, and
I'm not
on
saying
that Cinderella run, they were not embraced.
No.
They were pissed on, is what I'm saying. Like from the national media, it was always they don't have enough talent. Their schedule's not good enough.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
They don't belong in our club. We didn't invite them to our club.
I thought you meant
in college basketball.
I thought you meant scoreboard. They got shit on, and I was going to say that's
no.
That's what
I'm
I was
talking about. The lead up.
Okay.
That team had to deal with.
Yeah, the media was not nice to them.
This team also was there for that ride.
They know what it feels like.
And I think now that there's like this, you know what? Like, we don't need you. Like, we don't need the media's blessing. We didn't get it last year when we did everything humanly possible to earn our spot in the college football playoff.
Sure.
Disrespect us, talk shit about us, say we're not good enough, we lost too much talent, we play in the group of 5. Don't care. Iron sharpens iron. We're coming for your ass. I like the vibe I'm getting from this team is kind of what I'm saying.
Which is where I feel like, again, there's a grittiness to them that I didn't get the same sense from last year.
Like the gritty.
Not like the gritty.
Oh, okay. Was there any like standout takeaways that you'll remember?
Yes, there was one play where I felt like I was in the trajectory of the pass. It was a Brady Lichtenberg pass to Marcus Peterson down the sideline, just a dime. And that was the best play of the practice until like 2 plays later, as you came back, and I think it was a Ben Bryant dime to.
Uh,
I don't remember who that one was.
Will Pauling.
There it
Like
was.
on a corner route.
Yeah. The Marcus Peterson, that was like a 30-yard pass, and I think the Ben Bryant
It's
was
about the
also
same.
about the same, just at a different part of the field. That
Just
ended up
dropped it in the bucket on a corner route to Will
ended up in
Pauling.
the end zone.
I had to check the notes.
Yeah, we were exchanging the notepad right around that time.
JQ.
That's my
couple
dude.
nice pass breakups. I love seeing JQ and Nick Mardner go at it. Like, that is such a fascinating matchup of two guys with great size and length.
It's got to feel good for JQ to match up with the tallest guy on the field and almost look as if it's effortless right now.
Yeah.
Like he's doing all of the right things, and when you watch him at this point, do you even feel like he looks like a freshman?
Still, well, okay. Kind of. I think there are still freshman tendencies.
You've seen a lot more plays than I have. I saw one day of plays, and
yeah, but
when you're not running deep play after deep play after deep play, things probably look a little bit different than they would otherwise.
I think there's some stuff that he still needs to like figure out in terms of like some shorter stuff, some like following guys. Like, one of the best things Sauce was able to do, and if he wins the starting boundary corner job as a freshman, like day one, it's not fair to him. But he will always be compared to Sauce. Always. Like, it just is what it is.
There's no. It's not going to go away. It's not going to go away next year. It's not going to go away the year after that. You are the, for lack of a better term, heir apparent.
Yeah. And if you come in and win the job day one, and like
how do you
the last game Sauce starts leads into the first game you start, you're not going to be able to get away from it. There's some stuff that Sauce learned, because when Sauce first did this, he was really good at the stuff we're watching JQ be good at now.
Mm-hmm.
The down the field stuff, making plays on the ball, using his length. But like, as Sauce gained experience, those trail routes that you're not supposed to be able to just like go gadget arms.
Oh, like he did like Sauce did in practice today. There was video of him just, I'm all the way up here.
No, I'm talking about all the way out. Like, okay, a receiver makes a play across the middle, comes across your body, and you're in the trail position.
Okay.
And they're throwing the ball into their chest, and Sauce is just, like, last second, just out of nowhere, his hand would come in and, like, knock the pass away. And those are the plays that, like, a guy catches, and because the DB's in bad position, turns up the field and makes a 12-yard gain into a 40-yard gain. And you never saw those on Sauce, because he was always able at the last second to get that, to be in the right position, get that hand in there. Like, that's still the stuff that JQ's figuring out. But the stuff on the outside,
that fade route there was no place that you could have gone with the ball that he wasn't going to get to the ball.
They ran a red zone fade to Nick Mardner, who is 6'6" and legit. A physical specimen.
Mm-hmm.
And the ball was up where it should be, and Mardner went up to high point the ball, and there was JQ knocking it away and preventing a touchdown. Now, some would say Alec Pierce would have made that play.
Some did say Alec Pierce would have made that
play. Some did say Alec Pierce would have made that play. But I've watched Sauce and Alec Pierce have that battle that we watched JQ and Nick have today 50 times. Sauce usually won. But there was enough, if you remember last year, there was enough times AP won that battle that everybody was like, is Sauce okay?
That's why those two talked shit the whole
right.
The whole
That's why
practice.
You know what? That's why they also did at the beginning of practice. They also shook hands. Like, all right, here we go today. Let's do this. Let's get better. And it wasn't the best practice for you to watch today, but there's always enough if you dial in.
Yeah. It was good to see plenty of media guys there today. I mean,
Oh yeah,
Mo and Lance McAllister and some of the guys from TV, Brandon No, and is it No or Noe? I'm not sure. I think it's No. Seho and Jim Kelly. Since
always great to see Jim.
Since Dan was busy with Bengals camp.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it's good to have you.
Justin
was there. I didn't even notice.
I'm saying Justin was there.
I didn't even notice.
Oh, okay.
It was good to have you. I was glad to see you.
Warm reception. So
all right, I'm going on 16 hours today. I'm gonna go get some sleep. Night practice tomorrow night. Stay tuned to BearcatJournal.com. We'll have all your coverage right here. He's Aaron Smith. I'm Chad Brendel. Galactic Fried Chicken is the sponsor. Bearcat Journal is your home. We'll see you tomorrow.
See